Franco.
We'll go ahead and call the regular council meeting to order at this time. Nick Paulo, would you lead us in the pledge?
I don't know that.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May I have a roll call?
Becknick? Here. McKinney?
Here.
Shaver? Here. Saracen?
Here.
Bertone?
Here.
Heights?
Here.
Thank you.
We're going to go ahead and, can I have a motion to approve the April 18th meeting minutes, please?
So moved. Second.
Bertone?
Aye.
Heights?
Aye.
Becknick? Aye. McKinney?
Aye.
Shaver? Aye. Saracen?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, tonight's agenda is going to change a little bit. I'll go to our solicitor, Mr. Lyons, here in just a minute, but under my item, we're going to turn the meeting over to Christina Backnick for, there's some I think fifth graders here tonight for the Earth Day that we did a couple of weeks ago in the village. They're going to present for us, and then we're going to have a proclamation for the groundbreaking of the new schools, and then an actual resolution for the retirement of Dr. Dominic Paulo, the superintendent of our schools, and then I will be moving on resolution 2023-36, recognizing Dale Letters on his retirement from the village. And I think that covers the changes. So can I get a motion from council for those changes?
So moved, Mayor.
Second.
Bertone?
Aye.
Becknick?
Aye.
McKinney?
Aye.
Shaver?
Aye.
Saracen?
Aye.
Heights?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, from our solicitor, Mr. Jim Lyons.
No report, so.
Thank you, Mr. Lyons. Christina?
Good evening, everybody. We are going to have 3 students from Mrs. Slovan K's 5th grade class here to do a presentation on Earth Day. Part of this exhibition project included some work here in the village, doing some cleanup and stuff. So we have Kylan, Dominic, and Emma here.
Hi, I'm Kelly Slovan K. I'm one of the 5th grade teachers at McKinley, and as an international baccalaureate school, our students for the last several years have been creating what's called an exhibition project. It is a mandatory part of the International Baccalaureate program. They have to pick an action that they would like to carry out, preferably in the community, and when they started their research, they were really interested in ecology and how they can help recycling and the environment. And then I saw a post that Ms. Backnick made on Facebook about the community cleanup, and then in stepped my kids. So I'm going to let them go ahead and get started. This is their exhibition Earth Day cleanup. They did a slideshow, and they also have a beautiful trifold, and they will be presenting on Friday afternoon to the community between 12:30 and 2. Anybody that would like to come and see them live and in person, we would love to see you at that time.
History about Earth Day. The first Earth Day was celebrated in 1970 when a United States Senator from Wisconsin organized a national demonstration to raise awareness about environmental issues. Who invented Earth Day? In spring 1970, Senator Gaylord Nelson created Earth Day as a way to force this issue into the national agenda.
How this connects to this unit. This exhibition project connects to our school unit, Sharing the Planet. We are learning about ecology and conservation. When we were watching the Lorax, the fish came out of the water and said, "I heard down in Lake Erie it wasn't much better because companies were dumping waste into the water." We learned that one of these companies was the diamond shamrock plant, which used to be right here in Fairport Harbor.
When recycling was invented. Recycling dates back to the ancient times, while the first record instance of this paper recycling can be dated to 1031 in Japan. Ancient cultures commonly reused everyday items long before. This mainly is due to the lack of resources and lengthy manufacturing processes.
And then in our slideshow, which I have shared with Ms. Backnick, and it'll be available on Friday as well, we have several photographs. They're also up on the trifold board of the kids walking around. I think it was the day before.
Yes.
None of us were available to come on that Saturday, but we were all available on Friday. So we stayed after school, we cleaned Orchard Park, up around McKinley, and then a little bit around the old dance academy. And we cleaned up that area. So we've got some pictures of us doing that, and the kids had a lot of fun. Yes? Mm-hmm. Yeah? And I did anyways. I don't usually get to spend my Friday afternoons with my kids, so it was kind of really special for me. So I want to thank everybody for having us here today. I want to thank these children's parents for coming tonight and for giving us these amazing children, because I don't have a job without them, and I love working with them. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so a proclamation, whereas the Fairport Harbor Exempted Village School District is a district grounded firmly in rich history and tradition. Its educational program is structured to cultivate the whole child and meet the needs of a diverse population of students. It provides students with a personalized education with a close-knit family experience. Our mission statement is to ensure high-level learning for every student through calibration, innovation, and acceleration. And whereas Fairport Harbor Exempted Village School District is located within the blocks of Lake Erie and the Grand River, nestled in 1 square mile and the heart of the community. Fairport Harbor Exempted Village School District has been educating young minds since the first brick school building was built in 1876. The building on Vine Street opened in September 1921. And whereas the Fairport Harbor Exempted Village School District offers a wide range of electives and comprehensive courses of study, as well as a full range of extracurricular programs, including an early college program to provide students with a unique opportunity to take college courses along with their high school curriculum. They partner with Lakeland Community College, Lake Erie College, and Auburn Career Center. And whereas this groundbreaking will begin a journey to establish a new educational facility for pre-K to 12 grades, a bond levy was passed in November 2022 by our Fairport Harbor residents, which opened the door for 93% state funding with a 7% voter funding match. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the mayor of the Village of Fairport Harbor, County of Lake, State of Ohio as follows, that the Village of Fairport Harbor does hereby recognize and honor the Fairport Harbor Exempted Village School District and its administration and school board on this very special groundbreaking. I have set my hand and caused the seal of the Village of Fairport Harbor to be affixed this 26th day of May 2023. So we are predicting the future with that date, but we had to pass it in an open forum. So I will read that again at the groundbreaking, but that's very exciting stuff. We'll do Mr. Paulo's resolution. So resolution number 2023-37. Dr. Dominic Paulo began his career with Fairport Harbor Schools on August 1st, 2006. Prior to that, he was an administrator at Chardon Schools. But he began his career in education as a science teacher with Riverside Schools from 1988 to 2001. Whereas Dr. Paulo is a national presenter on personalized learning. His theory on personalized learning grows out of the theory of multiple intelligences he developed 30 years ago, involving individualization and pluralization. Thank you for this, whoever wrote it. Individualization means that each student should be taught and assessed appropriately and comfortably for that child. Pluralization means that anything worth teaching could and should be taught in several ways. By doing so, one reaches more children. And whereas Dr. Paulo's commitment to the Fairport Harbor Exempted Village School District provides future-ready, student-centered, inquiry-based learning experience for every child. From our youngest learners to college students, Dr. Paulo is committed to providing an exceptional educational experience, personalized to each student's own talents and interests. And whereas Dr. Paulo was a massive advocate for full-day kindergarten, the class of 2020 was the first group of students to have had full-day kindergarten. And the ensuing early college acceleration program has become part of our culture. Under Dr. Paulo's leadership, Fairport Harbor School District was the first school in Lake County to have one-to-one technology for every kindergarten, 12th grade, from kindergarten to 12th grade student. And whereas during his tenure, he led the district with a plan to aid in the passage of the bond levy, which opened the door for the Ohio Facilities Commission to earmark 93% state funds along with 7% voter funding for the new campus project. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Council of the Village of Fairport Harbor, County of Lake, and State of Ohio, that the Village of Fairport Harbor does hereby recognize and honor Dr. Dominic Paulo on his many accomplishments and tenure as Superintendent of the Fairport Harbor Exempted School District. Therefore, this resolution shall be in full force and effective immediately upon its passage by council and approved by the mayor. I need a motion to approve.
Motion made. Second.
Saracen,
Aye.
Bertone,
Aye.
Backnick,
Aye.
McKinney,
Aye.
Shaver,
Aye.
Heights.
Aye.
Thank you.
Before I call Dr. Paulo up, I just want to touch, so my two daughters went through the school system here. Brianna, our youngest, was that first kindergarten. Dominic was the 2020 class, right? And they kind of got gypped out of their big graduation with COVID. But I remember Ann's apprehension with a full day of kindergarten, and I assured her that it would be okay, and Brianna turned out just fine. Both of our daughters took full advantage of the early college. Both of them went on to Kent State, where they were very successful. Samantha went with two full years of college paid for. Brianna went with 3 full years. I know I've said it to you before privately, but I'll say it publicly. Those dollars that we didn't have to spend as a family are incalculable. You know, those dollars will go on for future generations, et cetera. So your vision, Dominic, and the care that I know my daughter's got is second to none. You'll be sorely missed, sir. So your resolution, Dominic.
Thank you. Council, I wanted to say, 17 years ago, it's hard to believe, it's been 17 years since I made my first presentation in front of council. And I look around, and heck, some of you are still here. I see Jeff was here that day, and Karen was here that day. She introduced me as Dr. Paulo, even though that was 7 years down the line. She could tell the future. Jerry was a teacher in the audience that day. Tony was here. Frank was the mayor. Tim was a councilman. And then some of you are still here. And you know, it's what you guys taught me right away. Early on, I came to realize how important this school was to the village. You impressed that upon me. The school, Frank always said, the school is the heart of your community. And I was always honored that you've let me serve in that capacity for so long. And now we have new village council members, and we have a new school on the way, and pretty soon we're going to have a new superintendent. And I guarantee you, if you give him the same respect and the same support that you gave me, he's going to come to love you as much as I do too. Have a great day, and thank you for this. This is wonderful.
Okay, Resolution 2023-36, a resolution commending Dale Leathers on his retirement and for his many years of service to the Village of Fairport Harbor. Whereas Dale Leathers began his employment with the Village of Fairport Harbor on December 5th, 2005, and whereas during his tenure with the Service Department, Dale worked to ensure the village was always maintained, which included street repairs, storm sewer repairs, park maintenance, and snow plowing, just to name a few. And whereas Dale has been an asset to the Village of Fairport Harbor, and the mayor, the council, and the administration wish to recognize and honor Dale Leathers on his retirement effective May 31, 2023. Now therefore be it resolved by the council of the Village of Fairport Harbor, County of Lake, and State of Ohio, that this council, on its own behalf and behalf of the administration and citizens of Fairport Harbor, recognizes and commends Dale Leathers on his retirement from the Village of Fairport Harbor and wish him many years of health and happiness. Now therefore this resolution shall be in full force and effective immediately upon its passage by council and approval by the mayor. I need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Backnick?
Aye.
Heights?
Aye.
McKinney?
Aye.
Shaver?
Aye.
Saracen?
Aye.
Bertone?
Aye.
Thank you.
And in typical Dale fashion, I did receive a text this evening thanking us for the honor. Had he had a little more notice, he would have showed up to the meeting. I don't think that would have happened regardless. Dale very much is a private man and always has been, but, you know, he's part of a very small team on that service department, and he's going to be missed. But personally, I want to thank Dale for his many, many years of service. Okay, I need a motion to approve of golf cart ice cream sales. I know the chief has some information on this.
Well, basically, thank you, thank you, Mayor.
Your Honor's fine.
Almost did it again. Basically, we needed to look back, and we found that there was an ordinance that specified a certain district in the village that you could have like basically mobile food service. And one of the things that we found also with this ordinance that for anybody to be able to do these type of services, we had to have a motion by council to pass it. And I believe at this point, we're going to do that with this to approve the food sales for Mr. Levine, but also we need to probably look at, is there a way to change that ordinance too, so that we can do just a simple administrative type of procedure on issuing a permit in the future. That's basically what I have for that.
Okay. And I know Mr. Levine has been working with the health department, and he's got all the certifications and everything like that he needs from them. He just needed something from us to go ahead and get his cart outfitted, right?
That's correct. That was pending from the health district right now.
Okay, and I won't ask council for a meeting tonight, but I'd ask Chief and Amy to set up the appropriate committee, and then we'll put that legislation before that committee, and then we'll pass something here at council at the appropriate time then. So if council doesn't have any objections, I just need a motion for that.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Backnick?
Aye.
Shaver?
Aye.
McKinney?
Aye.
Saracen?
Aye.
Bertone?
Aye.
Heights?
Aye.
Thank you.
Before I move on, I just want to thank the students again. I think you guys did a fantastic job with your board. I wish we would have seen the PowerPoint. I've got something planned for Friday, so I won't make it, but I will try to get a look if you could post it. Maybe we can post it to our website. But I just thought the presentation was fantastic, and again, it just shows, and I just think it's very important to get kids involved early in their community and giving back in the way that they have there. So congratulations for that, and thank you for all the hard work. I really appreciate it. And you kids did a great job. Again, thank you. Okay, Amy.
Okay. Memorial Day events. The VFW will be on the pier at 8:30 a.m. on Memorial Day. From there, they'll go to Veterans Park at 9 a.m., followed by a 9:30 a.m. service at Zion Lutheran Cemetery. The VFW will raise the colors, and the band will play the national anthem. We had Career Day at McKinley Elementary. Village administration, including the mayor, myself, the police, and fire departments participated in Career Day. Students from 4th grade to pre-K made their way through the gym to learn about a variety of careers. The younger students even dressed up in costumes to let us know what they wanted to be when they grow up. Doctors, nurses, and even Spider-Man made an appearance. Thank you to everyone at McKinley that made that possible. County commissioners have included the Lake County Sheriffs on the Narcotics Executive Board. That resolution is in your packet for review. Public art installation in the park goes up May 19th to May 30th. It'll feature raising clean water awareness. There will be an installation of massive water drops designed by South African artist Neil Wright. They're inflatable structures with tropical prints and information about how to protect our water. It'll be going up this Friday, and it's also lit up at night, so if you want to drive by in the evening, you can also check it out. Just Run Lake County will take place in Fairport on Saturday, May 27th from 9 to 11. The organizers are expecting another large turnout, with schools once again participating from all over the county. They're looking at about 1,500 participants. So let's keep our fingers crossed for good weather on that day as well. We'll have a full crowd in town. And that's my report.
Thanks, Amy. You got any questions of Amy tonight?
Did anybody at McKinley dress up as a mayor?
It was a tough one to pass.
I did not
It was
see that.
tough. Listen, we were right between the police department and the fire department. We didn't get a lot of action. If we weren't giving away Frisbees, no one would even have showed up to talk to us. So, police and fire did a great job as always. Okay, from our engineer, Mr. Clyde Haddon.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. Just a quick update. We are working on a few projects that we want to advertise for bids next month. That includes 3rd Street Streetgate, Chestnut Street improvements, and the 2023 road program. The water projects, very quickly, the water vault, as you know, we had a pre-con for that on April 21st. The schedule for that starting and completing is going to be dependent upon the availability of the equipment that they need to order for the vault. The other projects, the demo, the plant demo, the new water tower, and the secondary connection, we're waiting for the construction loan to be finalized and approved by EPA before we can move forward with that. That's all I have.
Okay. Any questions for Clyde? From our fiscal officer, Christine Page.
All right. Excuse me. For the month of April, your revenue was $287,782.74. Your expenditures for the month were $366,435.89. Your, I'm looking for your reconciled balance is $3,965,312.94. Interest for the month of April was $15,666.11. The majority of our investments are currently collecting about 5.25% finally. So just about everything we've got is in Star, Ohio. So we're making as much money as we possibly can, as fast as we can. For the year to date, your revenue is $1,814,790,41. Your expenditures are $1,438,137.37. Your check register is in the back. Check and receipts, actually. Your check register is the last thing in your package. If you have questions, I'm happy to answer those questions for you.
I do not.
Okay.
Anyone have questions of Christine? Okay,
all I got.
old business. Ordinance number 2023-25, an ordinance amending ordinance 11302, 11304A, 11305, and 11307B and C, and creating new ordinance 11051 of chapter 1133, signs of the codified ordinances, and declaring an emergency.
Move to adopt, Mayor.
Second.
Move to suspend the rules.
Second.
Bear with me here for a minute. Suspend. Bertone.
Aye.
Heights.
Aye.
Backnick.
Aye.
McKinney.
Aye.
Shaver. Aye. Saracy.
Aye.
Adopt. Bertone.
Aye.
Heights.
Aye.
Backnick.
Aye.
McKinney.
Aye.
Shaver. Aye. Saracy.
Aye.
Thank you.
From our safety committee this evening, Mr. Saracy.
We had a meeting 2 weeks ago, a committee meeting regarding the resource officer for the school, and Chief Coran has a few things he wants to touch on regarding that meeting. Chief?
Thank you. In our packets, we have pretty much an entire section devoted to this, including a colored graph. So I'm just going to reiterate some of the stuff that's in that packet. A few months ago, I was approached by the school board, and they wanted me to come up with some ideas, including a cost analysis of what it would take to get a embedded school resource officer in the schools. I did kind of like a rough estimate and some analysis and some study in there, and I was able to put together some pretty good, a pretty good little idea that we would like to push forward. But first off, I'm going to back up and just basically explain what an SRO is. So most public schools, including I believe every every one of them in this county has an SRO, which is a school resource officer from their local police department that has jurisdiction in which the school district resides in. They're responsible for the safety, security, and also they perform positive acts of crime prevention as a liaison and informal counselor between the students, staff, and parents. An SRO in the school will also work with the school administration to create a positive, safe environment as well. Right now, especially the way things have kind of like evolved in the country in the last year or so, we're basically in a different time, and the need for this in our school, I would have to stress, is extremely vital, especially the tragedies that we've witnessed lately. So basically right now, last year alone, our police department has spent 238 hours in the school for investigations and proactive policing between McKinley Elementary and the Harding High School. We also conduct, on average, about 2 hours a day of policing and presence for pickup and drop-off in the morning and the afternoon. I'm sure many of you have seen our police cars up there, so we devote a lot of time there. But I do want to make this clear that that was part of our crime prevention strategy and our community first policing model that I was committed to the village when I took over. So I do want to stress that. But all that time, all the resources expended to what is going on in the schools now is really taxing the department. So over the last few months, I've had a lot of communications between the school administration and the police department and how we're working together on things. And the one thing with the formulation of this SRO program, I do want to stress, because there were some concerns, this is not for any way a replacement for normal daily student behavioral problems. I want to stress that right now. I mean, there's no replacement having an SRO to step in between normal school discipline and behavioral action. So I want to get that out. So for the past few months when we've been studying this, I do feel that we're in the right time to do this. I think it would be a very good positive action. And also, if you look at the program, the police department in the summer will also gain an extra officer. So there's actually an end to the community, which I believe will be essential, because you know, June, July, and August, we do have an increase in calls. We do have an additional need for another patrolman out there as well. So this also benefits the community as a whole. So tonight I'm basically asking the council to approve me to go into negotiations with the school, formulate a contract, and also I'm going to have to ask for a full-time position eventually to facilitate this.
Thank you, Chief. Chief Lloyd, did you have anything to report?
The rescue squad that got hit is probably going to be total, so I've been working with the insurance company. The one ambulance manufacturer actually has a demo coming out that matches the one that got hit, so kind of got our thumb on that right now. I should hear from the insurance company this week, my hope.
Yeah, I was walking down the beach. Do you want to touch a little bit on the rescue with the boat we have and purchased with your squads doing? I see you guys are practicing down at the pier.
They were just going out. We have some newer people, so they're taking them up and down the river with the John boat just to get familiar with it. And then later in the spring, we'll get the new inflatable out and get them out on that also.
Thank you. That's all we have.
Thank you, Mr. Saracen. Thanks, Chiefs. Council have any questions for the Safety Committee? Okay, I need a motion to pay the bills.
So moved.
Second.
I'm sorry, Saracen.
Aye.
Backnick.
Aye.
McKinney.
Aye.
Shaver. Aye. Bertone.
Aye.
Heights.
Aye.
Thank you.
Resolution number 2023-34, a resolution authorizing Police Chief David Coran to enter into negotiation with the Fairport Harbor School District for the purpose of reaching an agreement to have a school resource officer working at the village school system and declaring an emergency.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Motion to
So-
suspend.
So discussion for a moment on that?
Yes.
So at the committee meeting we had a couple of weeks ago, I thought we were talking about preparing plans, and maybe this is what you're doing in the negotiations, but making sure that this is, sustainable. And let me say, first off and foremost, I support this and agree with this, but I also want to make sure that in 3 or 5 years, we don't have to tell that officer to go home or tell the school that that officer has to go home because we can't fund it. So we talked about a number of items in that committee meeting which would lead to a successful venture with the school that would be sustainable for, a lifetime. Also talked about that officer would potentially not really support the village, but always support the school because the school is open 365 days a year. And once we have a new school, we could have new summer programs, and that officer is probably going to have to dedicate time to the school, protect the staff if nothing else. That's part of the reason for having a safety resource officer. So before we enter in and say go ahead and negotiate, I think we need to walk through that process so we can, achieve success out of this. We don't want to do this, and we've had this experience in the past where we've had grants, and then we had to start laying off officers because that money wasn't there. I realize this is not a grant, but we don't have funds for this unless we figure out a method to do that, and it really needs to be sustainable. There are first graders in there right now that are going to go all the way through high school. That lasts beyond 5 years, and I think what I heard at the presentation was we were talking about 5-year funding. I would be interested in 5, 10, 15, 20-year funding. How are we going to do this? I think we owe the school that, we owe the village that, we owe this body that. So I think prior to negotiations directly, your office and the school, we have to approve that. So maybe the safety committee is part of that. There has to be something where you come back to council and say, this is what we learned, this is how we can make it sustainable, and this is how it's going to last Fairport for a lifetime. I think that's what we discussed, and I don't see that here. Maybe that's the intent, but I think that's what we need to do, Chief. And I'm just one opinion of 6 or 7 in the administration, but it really has to be sustainable. We're going to do a disservice to everybody if we're not.
I'll comment, Tony. The chief has met with Chris, and we've gone over the expenditures, and we've talked about it. It's a need. It's the work that Chief Coran did was tremendous. We can keep kicking it back and go down to have another meeting, but we've got to get this officer going now. And I'm not trying to just say it's great, but it's massaged. We answered some of the questions that some of the audience had at the committee meeting, and it's in the legislation tonight. And I think we have to get moving with it. Most of the council was all at the committee meeting, and I think at least get this part going so that we can sit with the school. I believe the school is going to be having a meeting next month, I believe, Dominic, you were telling me? Yeah, you were mentioning something about the grants that you were checking on.
We've applied for grant support for the officer. We know we get some, we don't know how much yet. That might not be a lot. But we'll take what we get. I don't think any of us expect to fund this with grants. We expect this to come out of the
I agree, and that's the question. So I see the legislation, respectfully, Frank, but I don't see a funding mechanism. You can't tell me right now that we have funds for next year, the year after, or 5 years. At this point, we're maybe getting grants, and then we have to get it out of the general fund, but I don't know how we negotiate a deal if we don't know how we're paying for that. Now, negotiating a structure of how it would work is one thing, and like I said, I fully support this. We should do this. But we also have to pay for it. So we don't want to mislead folks saying we're going to do this and then yank it back. That's more unfair than not having it at all. And I don't see any data. I don't see Chris's data. I don't see anything that says that we can do this 5 years from now or a year from now. And
In the resolution, though, it says the police chief shall report back to administration and council the details of his negotiations and any recommended contractual language that he believes is necessary to implement the position. So he's got to come back to us for the approval anyway.
This is just to get it moving.
Yeah.
And if you look at the back page on the formulation of what I'm looking at in the contract, there is a 5-year plan on the back with the graph and the funds. Now, I understand where, as goes for the school share, I'm not aware of this, and this resolution here, that stuff will get hashed out where their funding will come from. I was told originally that they were looking at, if it's not grant, then it was going to be something out of what they already have, general fund or something equivalent to it. But as goes for the village share, that would, and basically I would rather turn that over to Chris to answer that part, because we did talk about that for our share, which would be the summer months. That's the 25%. As goes for those details of what exactly, where that match is going to come from. Chris, do you remember when we had that conversation? We were talking about the general fund there. Mm-hmm. So we did have conversations over this before this basically got pieced together. Mm-hmm. So we had a picture. That's why the resolution for tonight will be in further going through the negotiation with the school. Those fine details with the finance costs of funding this officer. Yes, we will have to do some more homework to see what exactly the projection would be in 5 years from the general fund. As goes for the school share, I'm of course going to leave that up to the Board of Education and them to handle that part, to come back and go, we can do this. Because essentially, I can't do this at all without the funds that basically we have to piece together. I can't do it with current staff. So this will have to be another full-time police officer position.
I agree, and that's why I'm asking that we make sure we have that money. So I guess my question is then, why do we need the resolution? Why can't the chief negotiate this and bring it back to the table, or bring it back to the safety committee, or bring it back to a joint session between the school board, the school council, safety committee? Why the resolution? Maybe Mr. Lyons could answer that.
It was requested of me by, I believe it was Amy, to do the resolution after talking to the mayor. And I thought it was a good idea also, because it names the chief as our representative, to, officially represent the village, okay, in contract negotiations to try to come up with this. And it named a point person, and council is all agreeing that he is that point person, and he's responsible to report back not only to the administration, but also to the school. So.
Okay.
And the reason why for the resolution is, again, it's council's role in this is the funding, right? And once the funding is given, it's his position to do what he wants with. So that's why he gets to negotiate the position, and then he comes back with the numbers. So and again, I thought we got a decent numbers here with the budget. So basically, the village is on the hook for the 15%. There's contract language, whether the school board agrees to it or not, that I think it's 5 years, and 1 year before the end of the 5 is when the notice needs to be given. Either they're going to get out of the contract or they're going to renew the contract. I personally would like to see it more like the Metro Parks types of contracts that we've done in the past, to where they're 5 years and they renew automatically without the caveat of that you're going to get out of it, right? So if you don't get that, it just goes and it just keeps renewing. There, I think, is the piece that the community then would have some confidence in, that this is fully funded from the school side for the 75%. It would be the council decision to say, the council believes that it would cost 25% of village funds to pay for it. And then that definitely comes out of the general fund. There is no other fund, so we'll continue to deplete the unencumbered balances that we have. Going forward, that's definitely not a funded position. We're gonna have to adjust monies, or we're gonna have to go for a levy at some point to increase that revenue, but we can't just keep taking the general fund down by $15,000, $16,000, $17,000 a year as this goes on. So there's gonna have to be that mechanism again. But for right now, we have unencumbered funds to handle it, but again, it's on the school paying their portion of it. But if it does go away, Mr. Bertone's not wrong in the fact, and I said it at the meeting that we had, and I'll say it again, I don't think there's anybody that's gonna sit at this table and take that position away from that school system when they stop paying for it, if and when. I'm not saying they're going to, but it is council's responsibility to fund this position. And I don't know how we work that out, but that's what we're trying to work out here, and I think we're just gonna have to have it in a contract with them. Because I don't know how we fund it in any other way, but that is the watch out. So, to me, I think this is the best way to move forward, to get it negotiated, and then we get you something solid before council. Whether that comes back to the safety committee and at this point, I think it comes to the full body. I don't think we need to take it to a committee again. So, I thought we hit the notes from the meeting myself with this budget and the talking points, but maybe we missed it. But that was the reason for the resolution, was to give Dave the power to go and negotiate this.
I agree that we've hit most of the points. And I understand that we're trying to get to the point of where we can have a contract. I just want to make sure that that's what we do. And maybe we're mandating this by resolution, that it has to continue. Because once we start this, we don't want to stop it. We're building a new school. We want it to be a success in all ways, and it includes this. And again, I would also caution that we plan on using this officer. You're making the argument for me, Chief. You can't support the school with the police as it is right now, right? So we need to dedicate this police officer to the school all the time. And I wouldn't base our contribution on, oh, we're going to get that person back. That's one of the things we talked about in the last meeting. Bring that person over in the summer. That school, if everything goes right, is going to become stronger, and they're going to have more programs, and we're going to need that officer over there. And then the conversation we're going to have at that time is, well, we really need to leave that officer over there, so I need to hire more part-time or another full-time person. I've been here for almost 25 years. I've heard this conversation before about why it didn't work and we need to have more officers. And I agree. Our mandate in the United States at this level is to protect the citizens, protect the welfare of everybody. And we don't want to do that and then pull it back. So if we want to have a safety resource officer, it should be that, right? It should be at the school all the time so the school can count on it. Whoever's working that desk, that reception counter, knows they don't have to worry on June 1st when school goes out that some bad guy might get in and do some harm to the school or to that person. Or events aren't going to be able to be held there properly in the summer. Graduation, summer events. We need to think about all those things. So if this legislation's intent is to negotiate that out, let's do that. And then come back and do something. We really need to run through more than what I see here. We need to operate this as though this is a business structure that's always going to happen from here until eternity. All of us in the room are gone, right, and dead and buried, and this officer is still there should be our goal. And we need to look at how we do that. And if it means on a temporary basis of ramping it up part-time until we can get it ramped up, maybe first quarter, second quarter, or first semester, second quarter, however that is, we need to have all of those things laid out so we understand. It shouldn't be, we've agreed that we're going to do this for 5 years, council, please give us the money. It really needs to be more in depth than that so when we do this, it's locked, it's solid, it's forever. And I would even support doing it by resolution to say we can't get rid of that position because it's something we need. But I'm just being cautious, Mayor, Council, that I think if we're going to do this, and we should, We should dot all the i's, cross the t's, and make sure this is rock solid, hand in hand with a brand new school with a brand new future, and do it in a way that's successful. This has been attempted several times and it never has worked out, right? So let's make sure it works out. You're the guy negotiating it with the school, that's great, but it's also going to require a team. So I would be in favor of the resolution, but I'm throwing it out there that I would expect there are more steps beyond this to make this perfect. Yeah. And I understand you're working hard. This is good work. And it's getting us further down the road than anybody's gotten us before. But I'm been here a long time. We got to make sure that this gets over the end zone line and is good and is rock solid forever. This youngest person that I see right here should know that resource officer is there at the end of the time, right? So that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank
And
you,
then
Mr. Vitale. So we
I
have
know
a
that you got to
motion
vote.
and a second.
Okay. Ready? All right. Suspend. Saracy?
Yes.
Backnick?
Aye.
McKinney?
Aye.
Shaver? Aye. Bertone?
Aye.
Heights?
Aye.
Approve. Saracy?
Aye.
Backnick?
Aye.
McKinney?
Aye.
Shaver? Aye. Bertone?
Aye.
Heights?
Aye.
Thank you.
Resolution 2023-35, a resolution to amend permanent appropriations and declaring an emergency.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Move to suspend the rules.
Second.
Suspend. Bertone?
Aye.
Heights?
Aye.
Backnick?
Aye.
McKinney?
Aye.
Shaver? Aye. Saracy?
Aye.
Adopt. Bertone?
Aye.
Heights?
Aye.
Backnick?
Aye.
McKinney?
Aye.
Shaver? Aye. Saracy?
Aye.
Thank you.
Does council have anything else this evening? If not, we're open to the public. 5, 4. Yes, sir. Could be, if you could, just come to the microphone, state your name and address, please. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, Council, my name is Joe Velda. I was born and raised here in Fairport. Graduated St. Anthony's 81, Harding 85. As far as I can remember back, Fairport's always been self-sufficient. We've never had to rely on anybody else for anything. Our own post office, beach, water plant, you name it, we had it. And I believe I'm here. What I'm requesting is very insignificant compared to what you guys have been talking about, since I've been sitting here. But and I believe I speak for many people because I've talked to several people on this issue, and it's really very insignificant compared to what you guys were talking about. You guys, we actually acquired the new water plant, new water tower, everything else. And I know new water tower is going right over here behind the maintenance building, okay? Now, for many years, we've always had a place to where we can, it's springtime, people are cleaning their yards, leaves, branches, grass clippings, and I understand, first and third Wednesday of every week? You're cutting your grass twice a week now, and you got grass clippings, people are cleaning their yards. You want the village to look good. You want people to have nice yards, this and that. Sure. And recently, we don't have a compost pile back here anymore. And I know that's where the water plant's going. I'm a union iron worker. I know you have to have a construction site there. Mm-hmm. Big laydown area, a lot of steel, cranes, whatever you need there, But, I've heard several people complain that they've got nowhere to take anything anymore. And I don't believe and for those people that don't have, say, a pickup truck and limited budget, limited income, whatever, they can't much do anything and let the stuff sit in their backyard for 2 weeks until it's pickup day again.
Sure.
I don't think that's a good idea either, but there's plenty of room back there to put, whatever, make a pile. It's compost. It's not harming anything because it is compost. It just disintegrates into the ground. It is what it is, but could you do something about maybe having somewhere to put some stuff back there?
So thanks for bringing that up, because I actually forgot to talk to Amy about this. So I don't know what the long-term solution is, and you're right, we might be able to return something here once the tower might be corrected or erected, we might be able to go back on some of the landfill property.
Sure.
And open that gate.
Sure,
But actually, I just had a conversation with Gabe Chickanetti, one of the trustees, Painesville Township, because right at the top of Nursery Road, the township has their dumping site. They're open, I think, on Wednesdays and Saturdays. So he gave me a figure that to pay the extra people that they would need for the influx, he was thinking $250 a week. Or was it a month? I'm a little fuzzy on the number, so I gotta call Gabe again, but that might be an option to go to Nursery Road for the short term until we can solve it long term here. So I, like you, I like to take my stuff when I want to take it. I hate having to sit in a bag because the bottles of the bags rot out, et cetera. So Jerry brought it up a month ago, and we've been working behind the scenes to try to figure out a solution. So I don't have one yet, but we should be able to come up with something. So thanks for bringing it up. But yeah, it's very much on the top of our minds.
Okay, but what, in the meantime?
In the meantime, it's every 2 weeks. I mean, I have nothing at the moment.
They can't open up a section back there. I mean, there's so much room back there.
What can we do back there?
There's so much room back there for a compost pile, 8x8, 10x10 in diameter.
Well, the problem is it's not 8x8 or 10x10. And if it was just the village residents hitting it,
sure,
it wouldn't have never got as big as it got.
Correct.
I mean, there's a whole lot of people that dump back there. So wherever we are going to put it, we're going to have to put some controls around it.
It's going to be, I can see how it's going to be busier and more stuff in the springtime. But as the summer goes on and fall hits, it's not that much till you hit fall and then the leaves. And you guys pick the leaves up anyway.
Right.
But for now, it's kind of busy in the spring. Midsummer, it's gonna tone down. You're not going to get that much.
Right.
But
so can we do something? Take a look at it?
thank you.
All right. Very good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, Tim.
All right. If nothing else, a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Backnick?
Aye.
Heights?
Aye.
McKinney?
Aye.
Shaver?
Aye.
Saracen?
Aye.
Bertone?
Aye.
Thank you.